Welcome everybody to another episode of the you fuck. Hold on. Well, listen, everybody. We have The Witcher Season 3 Part 2 now out streaming on Netflix. This is our review, so there will be full spoilers ahead. This was a kind of mid-season, I'm not going to lie. Henry Cavill is awesome. I'm going to miss him so much. Dylan,
all these lies.
Yeah. Why don't you get your thoughts?
Okay, let's get started. First of all, I think there's no reason they should have split this thing up into two parts.
Exactly.
The second part is literally 3 episodes, guys. The last episode was like an hour something long. They could have merged this into one season, to be honest. I don't know what it is about these fucking divided seasons that Netflix has a fetish for.
Yeah.
But okay, so yeah, like Akram said, it was pretty mid. I think the problem that I had with this show, I liked the first season a lot, I'm not gonna lie. Akram doesn't like the non-linear thing. I thought it was interesting. I think it lost its tone. And the other problem I have with it is that they don't really get anywhere after each season ends. It's like, okay, Geralt, he finds Ciri. Yennefer does her witch shit, whatever. She fucks off. Fucking Jaskier drops a new album every episode. And then they fuck off. And then it's reset, right? They don't really do anything. This season, it was okay. But like, man, there were times where like I had to force myself just to stay awake. And I watched 3 shows this week. Just in time because Akram's editing the vlog right now. Man, this was hard to to stay focused with because like there's a few good choreographed fights. I did like the fight with Geralt and Vilgefortz. I thought that was really cool. It was like some like cool martial arts shit. He had like a pole arm and he actually like broke Geralt's back. It was a really cool fight. There was a few other fights. I think like the Aretuza fight. So Aretuza fell in this season. And there was like a few there was like one elf bitch that got lit the fuck up with like all these arrows and shit. And other than that, it was like, okay, there was these long elongated dialogue scenes. And I think the other problem I had with the show too is like I feel like, and this is the same problem I had with Shadow and Bone, it's like I feel like I have to know a lot of things going into each season because there's so many factions and so many characters, and it's kind of jaunting to keep up with everything, you know. Yeah, you can probably like if you're invested in certain characters, you can kind of follow their storylines, but for the most part, it's like I feel like I have to keep track of every little thing, like who's in this family or who's in this timeline or who's in this faction or whatever. So I feel like it's kind of hard to follow through, and that I think it's kind of a turnoff, and I think a lot of people actually agree because the reviews I've been seeing for The Witcher so far have been pretty consistent. It's kind of like I said, jaunting to keep up with, you know, with the show. Sometimes I honestly forgot a lot of what happened. I know we covered season 2 a long time ago, but I had to watch a whole recap on season 1 and 2 because I forgot a lot of the things that happened. And I feel like it's lost its flavor because the first season was mainly about like Geralt like hunting monsters, and he was basically like the Mandalorian basically. Here it's like more political, like they have like this whole tension with like the elves and the humans and Nilfgaard and stuff. So that's my piece on it. Akram, let's hear what your thoughts are.
Yeah, no, I think that's an excellent assessment because you and I have a similar opinion on the show. I'm not a big fantasy guy, but I do respect the property itself. And it was really exciting when it first began. I wasn't down on the timeline thing, but it is a unique concept. I think it's really interesting how they did it. And then, it's like each season kind of degrades over time for some reason. I mean, there's little things that you could look forward to and a lot of things I think they pulled off really well. But for the most part, I think sometimes it does feel underwhelming at times. And for sure, a little bit boring, but I don't know if it's because we review so many things and then everything is like different. And then we come to this. I'm sure for like fans of The Witcher, they probably love this show. I mean, they probably changed a lot of stuff too, but again, this takes after the novel and instead of the game. So I wonder, you know, because there's a lot more. It's a lot more lore intensive, I would imagine. This this part does feel kind of a little underwhelming, and I worry because I'm thinking, where is this gonna go now? Because you already have Blood Origins, which was pretty much ass, and the animes were all right, but for the most part, it's like, okay, now you have Liam Hemsworth gonna get into the mix. How are they gonna pull that off? They said they're planning something really cool. I don't know. I kind of doubt it. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of what you would expect from The Witcher. I think on Rotten Tomatoes it has like an 80 something percent score, and I think that just shows you that. And I kind of trust Rotten Tomatoes sometimes, and I feel like, well, sometimes, and I feel like this show is great quality. But they do have like a pacing issue, and sometimes it's a severe one, and when it ends, you're like, huh, it just ended. Like I could have got another episode out of this bitch. It's like, okay. And so I don't know. It's 50-50 with me, you know?
It's actually like, because we just covered Secret Invasion. I feel like this show is like the opposite. Like Secret Invasion, like the runtimes are short and they don't have enough. I feel like here they have like an hour and they put too much into each episode.
Yeah.
And it's so confusing sometimes. It's like I have to kind of backtrack what I saw. Like when you read a book and you don't really absorb it and you have to read it twice to like absorb like what you saw. So I think the beginning was better than the second half. I like the family dynamic between Geralt, Ciri, and Yennefer because they're all very broken individuals. All they know is loneliness, right? Here they were kind of divided in this second half. So Geralt is, he's healing. He's trying to get over this big fight that happened. Ciri. The one episode with Ciri I did kind of like seeing her in this desert and she's kind of like on her own because we don't really see Ciri like in moments where she's independent, right? It's mainly like somebody else is like looking after her or something. So here, like she's broken down like at her core, so she has to like survive in this desert for a couple of days, and it felt like almost like biblical, like watching this happen. And then Yennefer, she was like trying to rebuild the sisterhood of Aretuza, or the brotherhood, whatever they call it. And to say it was, I feel like her arc went nowhere because, okay, so she tried to save everybody. She fucked them all over because she was sleeping with Vilgefortz. And then, okay, she did this cool move where she kind of did like this Palpatine thing from Rise of Skywalker. So she summoned like all this lightning and then like killed like all the enemies, whatever. And then like her hair turned white, and then she was kind of just following Yennefer wherever she went. And then Yennefer was kind of like, okay, we need you back to how you were before because we need leadership. This is a time where like we need to rebuild. And Tissaia ends up, spoilers ahead, she ends up killing herself because she couldn't, she was like, oh, you're strong, you don't need me, whatever. And then she just killed herself, and she was like, a flower is just a flower sometimes. I thought that was kind of stupid, to be honest, because I actually liked her character like in certain seasons and certain episodes, but then to see her just like off herself in their moment of need, I'm like, it's kind of stupid. Like if you think about it. Yeah. So now she's burning in hell with Talus and Maria.
She's burning in eternal. Maria Hill. She meets Maria Hill and Talos. A flower. No, the worst part is she thought she did something good there, and now she's burning and she didn't expect that. A flower's a flower. And she's like, ah! Oh my gosh.
Oh, it was just kind of stupid to me. I was like, why would you like want to see, your because they're like her daughters, basically. Like, wouldn't you want to see them like safe and okay? It's like, you just fucking off yourself. Like, that was so stupid to me, to be honest. But I went on my tangent. What else are there?
I agree. No, I really agree, and I just feel like sometimes now Geralt feels like a passenger to his own show, and I don't like that as much. And it's always like some bullshit that they have to go through first, like the spoon of Lavalier or whatever, and they have to get and eat soup with it, and then they unlock like something, and then Ciri's like, I don't like it, or whatever. She doesn't want to eat the soup.
Sure.
That's just like, but I think that's just a part of the DNA from the show itself. I don't know if it's actually a part of the novel series or maybe a little bit like the game, like all that bullshit. Yeah, I think there's a lot of unnecessary bits that they could for sure cut. It's weird. It's weird because, like, if it's for the fans, then it's a godly type of show. It's like, okay, this is for you guys, and yeah, you want to live in this world and just take your time with it. But I don't even feel the world is actually that good to begin with, to be honest. It's pretty mid. It's like fucking a Pennsylvanian forest, and then you have like or like, yeah, I mean, it's not even, it's whatever. But okay, but going back as part of, for part 2, it's basically what you would feel about part 1 itself. I was gonna say part 4 part 1 itself. Things happened for sure, but you don't feel really rewarded as an audience. I don't know. I think it was kind of a letdown. And also I think they were having issues too, because you had to think about it. The actors leaving, and then plus at the time, the writer's strike probably was starting to build up in this conversation.
I'm thinking the writer's strike affected it a lot because, and Henry Cavill, this is his last outing. I guess, I don't know if he's going back to DC too for any Superman roles.
No, he's going to Warhammer now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I think he had issues with how they were kind of handling the mythology too.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that was a big factor in probably like why this show kind of didn't feel as, like you said, rewarding. And there weren't that many monsters in this season too, if you notice. Like, I think last season when they were in that Witcher castle thing, they had like those cool dragon things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, here they had like there was like this big scorpion thing that Ciri fought, and then there was like that roly-poly thing in part 1. But I feel like the DNA of the show always has like these cool monsters, and the special effects were better in other seasons, I have to admit. I feel like it was kind of a letdown, especially if this is going to be, Henry's last season as Geralt. I kind of wanted them to go out with a bang for his character.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know who this guy's agent is, but he just has bad luck going into these places. I don't know.
He's at a crapshoot like for his next role. He's like, woo!
Yeah. I don't know, but all right. Well, I bet you with you there's gonna be people talking shit about us in the comments. Anyway, what would you rate this season?
Oh man,
or part 2 at least.
Part 2. I probably give it 4 out of 10. That's like, I think that's my lowest rating I've ever given.
Yeah,
other than She-Hulk, which I didn't even give a rating for that. But
damn.
But as a whole, looking at the season as a whole, I'll probably give it 6 out of 10. To be honest, it's still I'm a fantasy guy. I'm not gonna lie. There's some things I really enjoyed about this season. Like I said, like some of the fights were okay. They could have went more into them. I feel like, as I already, I feel like beating a dead roach, right?
Yeah.
I just feel like sometimes watching this show, I have to kind of recap a lot of things that I've seen in my mind, and because I can't follow a certain thread if I don't know like who these characters are or what they're talking about. It's like Chinese or something. Like they're speaking like Huttese or some shit.
And there's no subtitles.
Right, exactly. But you know what I mean? I feel like sometimes it's confusing,
It's hard for newcomers, yeah.
It's hard for newcomers, right? And it's sad because I've been following season 1 and 2 very closely in the past, but I feel like, when you take a year off or 2 years off with a certain show, you forget a lot of shit that happened, and then you kind of have to refresh and familiarize yourself sometimes. That's how I even feel like Mandalorian sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what did I say? 6 out of 10? Yeah, 6 out of 10 for me for this season.
You said 4 out of 10.
I say I'm even
Oh,
forgetting what I
for
rated.
part 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for part 2, I honestly would give part 2 like a 6 because there are other highlights there. I mean, one thing you give credit to them is for the quality of like costuming and stuff like that. That's always there, and I think that's wonderful. And the acting, the performances, I think are wonderful as well. I think the character arcs sometimes are a little bit monotonous what they're going through, and I'm just getting tired of it. And there's not too much excitement, but it is what it is. Yeah, I would give it part 2 a 5 or 6 out of 10, and I would give the whole season, I think, like a 7 or 8. Yeah, probably a 7 out of 10.
You know what I feel
Season
like watching this season 2? Those time wasted sons of bitches.
Sons of bitches.
You make me wait a whole month to watch 3 episodes.
I swear, yeah, I know. That was like a joke. They just wanted to fuck with me.
If it was a snake, it would have been me.
Exactly.
But guys, that is our review for The Witcher. If you guys disagree, you can go hide in a ditch somewhere. I don't care. I'm so done. I'm so tired.
Me too.
But yeah, let us know what you guys thought of The Witcher. If you have different opinions, I'd love to hear them.
Yeah.
And let us know what you think about the future of the Witcher franchise as well.
Sure.
But guys, we have so much content out this month. I can't even tell you right now how many things we have planned. Like we keep saying we have a vlog, and we are gonna get it out pretty soon. But you know, it's a very busy week for both of us since we just came back from California. So we're gonna have our vlog video out. We're gonna have also a San Diego tutorial and reaction video, which I think you guys will enjoy if you ever plan to attend Comic-Con as well. And so many other shows. We have the Crowded Room review. We also have Twisted Metal, which is out on Peacock. I can't wait to review that because that was a really good show. But yeah, thank you guys so much. And until then, thanks for watching with us.
See you guys. They're burning in the deepest part of hell.